The next article I wanted to talk about is titled Bleach Church Leader Admits It's Not a Church, but a Ruse to Dodge Regulation. This is on the Friendly Atheist website, written by Terry Firma. And this article is from May 8th, 2020, actually. The Bleach Church is also known as Genesis 2. I don't know if you guys have heard the name before. I've talked about them once or twice, but they believe that you can cure illnesses by drinking this concoction that they've created. And it's basically made up of sodium chloride or sodium hypochlorite or something. It's bleach. That's what it is. It's bleach. It's used to clean pools and things like that. It's like industrial stuff. And their belief is that if you drink this, it will cure everything. It will cure every illness of every sort. So I wanted to read this article on the Friendly Atheist website, give you guys a little background on, what was going on with these people. And then we'll get into the latest article about them, which is Grand Jury Indicts the Bleach Church Family Over Their COVID Miracle Cure, quote unquote. So let's read this article by Terry Firma and see what it says. I don't see how this can help Archbishop Mark Grennan in court, but no one said he's a legal genius. Grennan, you'll recall, runs a Florida church called the Genesis 2 Church of Health and Healing, G2C, whose website peddles a sacrament that's essentially industrial bleach. A shrewd operator who appears to lack a conscience, Grennan recommends that adults and children ingest the toxic, dangerous solution as a cure for all manner of serious ailments, including COVID-19. And leading up to Trump's comments about, injecting bleach or sunlight or whatever the hell else at that press briefing, if you guys remember, cue me playing it in the clip.
Right, and then I see the disinfectant where it knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning? Because you see it gets on the lungs and it does a tremendous number of the lungs. So it'd be interesting to check that. So that you're going to have to use medical doctors with. But it sounds interesting to me.
It turns out this guy, Mark Grennan, the leader of the Genesis 2 church, quote unquote, had been in communication with the White House, had been sending letters to them, trying to tell Trump to alert him to the fact, quote unquote, that his concoction will cure anything, including COVID. And a few weeks later, after Mark Grennan had sent all these letters, then Trump comes out and says, we found out that bleach kills it, and I was wondering if maybe we can inject it in people. It was completely outrageous and circumstantially can be linked back to this guy. Anyway, let's keep reading. To what end G2C would now drop the Religious Act, I don't know, but here we are. Quote, in a recent video interview with The Age of Truth, an alternative media platform, quote unquote, that explores the paranormal and conspiracy theories on YouTube, the group's leader Mark Grennan admitted that Genesis 2 was established as a church to avoid governmental regulation. This is Terry Firma speaking. Why a church? It's sadly predictable. Quote, because everything you do commercially is under the Universal Commercial Code, okay? A church is completely separate from those codes, statutes, and laws. That's why a priest can give a kid wine in church, probably, and not get arrested, because it's a sacrament. You can go into a church like an embassy and get political asylum. Why? Because it's not under any law. You can't arrest us for doing one of our sacraments. We could have done temple. We could have done synagogue. We could have done mosque. Grennan also said, they all have the same right, but we just chose church. People who are a member of a mosque stay a member of your mosque. This is all about health. This guy is a scumbag. This is Terry Firma. Okay, so Genesis 2 is not a church. Is it even a Christian organization? This is Grennan again. No, not at all. Genesis just means beginning. We started this by saying, I personally am a Christian. But Jim says, well, I believe this. Jim Humble, a co-founder of the church, is a noted ex-Scientologist. Wow, ex-Scientologist. You don't see that very often because they're so extreme. And I said, just start it like a hospital. When you go to a hospital, they might ask your religion, but they're not going to stop you from being helped. Let's start a church for everyone. We have atheists in our church. This is Terry Firma again. Possible. Would love to see some proof. Quote, We have every person, every gender you could imagine. We wanted to make it non-religious because I want the guy that doesn't agree with me philosophically, religiously, or whatever to still learn how to do this, to help kids, his wife. Again, help means giving them bleach to drink. No joke. That's what it means. According to the Bradenton Herald, quote, a federal judge has issued a preliminary injunction that extends a ban on the organization from distributing its MMS product, also known as Master or Miracle Mineral Solution, which is the bleach that they sell. The judge wrote, the court finds that the U.S. has shown a cognizable danger that defendants will continue to violate the FDCA, Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act, in the future unless a preliminary injunction is issued. This is terra firma. That's because they've shown neither contrition nor compliance. Quite the opposite. Bolstered by the seeming support of the President of the U.S.
Right, and then I see the disinfectant, where it knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning?
Grennan and his accomplices have continued selling their miracle cure, employing no small amount of bluster. In a recent letter to U.S. District Judge Kathleen M. Williams and U.S. Attorney Matthew Feely, the self-proclaimed archbishop, still riding the religion angle, thundered, quote, you can't make a law against the practice of our sacraments, so you surely can't enforce an unlawful law. So why are you, the FDA and the DOJ, committing this gross negligence against a church of the Lord of Jesus Christ that has the freedom to practice our religious convictions that our president defends? Oh my God. This is terra firma again. I've occasionally thought that the whole thing is so over-the-top absurd that it must be a giant wind-up, a satanic temple-like spiel to expose the danger and the ludicrousness of spiritual rules and exemptions for churches. Grennan's admission that Genesis 2 isn't really a church may be the harbinger of some brilliant endgame to a years-long performance piece that would delight mega-hoaxer Joey Skaggs. Then again, religion produces more than its fair share of genuinely preposterous characters and behaviors. So that's who the Genesis 2 church is. That's what it's all about. That's what this guy believes. He's trying desperately to sell this concoction that is genuinely dangerous, and he's using religious exemption as a protection to do so. It's disgusting. So there's a new article just came out, April 24th, written by Hemant Mehta about Mark Grennan and the family that started the Genesis 2 church, quote unquote. Let's give this article a read and see what it says. Over the past year, we've posted multiple times about the Florida-based Genesis 2 Church of Health and Healing, which basically sells bleach as a cure for everything. In May, the group's Australian chapter was slapped with a $150,000 fine for selling and promoting a solution containing sodium chlorite, a chemical used as a textile bleaching agent and disinfectant. The family behind it has now been indicted for fraud and criminal contempt. The group's leader, Mark Grennan, has admitted in the past that he doesn't run a church at all. That designation only exists to avoid government oversight, as we read just a minute ago. Whatever it is, though, it has an audience, which means it can cause a lot of damage, especially when he sent those letters to Trump, and Trump actually talked about injecting bleach. Like, holy shit. This guy actually reached the president. Now, the guy is a fucking idiot. The president is. So it doesn't surprise me that he would buy what this guy was selling. But come on. This is seriously dangerous shit. Last August, the US FDA issued a warning against using the products because they were deemed life-threatening. And last July, government officials raided the church headquarters in Bradenton, Florida, and confiscated everything inside, including 22 gallons of Miracle Mineral Solution, which is their bleach stuff, 8,300 pounds of sodium chloride, and 50 gallons of muriatic acid. Oh my God, that's hydrochloric acid, basically, is what that is. Muriatic acid is hydrochloric acid that they use to clean concrete. Can you believe this shit? And they had all of this stuff in there. That means they were probably selling it to people to have that amount on hand. Oh my God. All of that was destroyed per a court order. Holy shit. The order also said that the group's websites, which sold the products, had to be taken offline immediately. Thank fuck. Grennan and his sons were charged with conspiracy to defraud, conspiracy to violate the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act, and criminal contempt. 2 of the sons were arrested. And now it's getting worse. Yesterday, the Department of Justice announced that a federal grand jury in Miami had returned an indictment against Grennan and his 3 sons. Quote, the Grennans marketed MMS as a miracle cure-all for dozens of other serious diseases and disorders. The Grennans received more than $1 million from selling it. Oh my god, $1 million fucking dollars. $1 million from selling this shit. This is fucking wrong. The Grennans also allegedly threatened the federal judge presiding over the civil case and threatened that should the government attempt to enforce the court orders halting their distribution of MMS, the Grennans would pick up guns and instigate a Waco. If convicted, the Grennans face up to life imprisonment. Holy shit. This is some serious shit right here. This is Hemant Mehta speaking. At long last, the family's faith-based scam may finally be coming to an end, and they'll get the punishment they deserve. But how many people did they hurt, or worse, in the process? This is fucking disturbing. This is fucking disturbing. I've known about the Genesis 2 cult for a long time, but I didn't know about that bit where he threatened a federal judge and said they were going to pick up their guns and instigate a Waco. That's a new level of fucking wrong. From my understanding, the grand jury is a group of people who have to decide if they're going to charge somebody with a crime or not. So the grand jury apparently decided they are going to charge this guy and this family. And the next steps are basically to take him to court, to take him to trial. This isn't a civil suit. This is a criminal case. This guy is going to be charged with criminal charges, and he could spend time in jail. Knowing what I do about how business works, I know that retail operations like this, where he's selling a product and shipping it, they tend to have about a 20% profit margin, give or take. So if they've generated $1 million, I'm guessing they probably came out with $200,000 total. And that's probably over the course of, 10, 15 years? So it isn't that much money when you look at it that way. Say $200,000 over the course of 10 years, that's $20,000 per year, basically. That's a normal salary. That's not that much money. It's not like a crazy, insane amount that these guys are making from it. The biggest issue that I have is the fact that he was really genuinely hurting people. That's so fucking disturbing. At least they're facing consequences for this, and I hope they continue to face the consequences for their fucked up decisions.